This is the sum. Now, they want a dividing sum, and they're saying 16644 divided by 21.9. Now, there's the 1664, so that's that number. There's the 21.9, which is that number. So your answer is going to have something to do with that 76. So, make this number into a round number. So I've did 16, naught, naught, naught. Make that number into 20. Stroke out the 2 zeros, so that means you've got 1600 divided by 2, which gives me an answer of 800. Now, because I'm dealing with 76, the answer has to be very close to 800. So you take the 76, and obviously you have to put the 0 on, because that's very close to 800. You just can't pick any random number, you have to deal with the 76. So because my answer was in the hundreds, 800, the closest answer to that is 760. Next one. 75 times 219. Now, there's two things you can do. You can actually look at this sum here and realize that that's 76 times 219, which is that. So 75 219 is one bunch of 219 less than that, which will give you that. However, if you're not too comfortable with that, just do it as a long multiplication sum. And if you do it as a long multiplication sum, I'll just run through long multiplication with you. So the first thing you do is you line the sum up. You do everything multiplied by 5. 5 nines is 45. Put down your 5 and carry your 4. 5 ones is 5 and 4 is 9. 5 twos is 10. That's the top line. Okay. Then you put the secret magic knot underneath. Then you multiply. You stroke these out and you multiply everything by now 7. 7 nines is 63. Put down your 3 and carry your 6. 7 ones is 7 and 6 is 13. Down your 3 and carry your 1. 7 twos is 14 and 1 is 15. You'll always end up with a number by itself. You add those numbers to give you 16425. Okay, so that's the end of page 21. Again, page 22. See, similar type of question. Again, dividing. So we must estimate. Estimate's the easiest way out of it. That's the sum. Write down the value of this divided by that. Now that's that number there, which we estimated to be 36 and the same amount of zeros. 40000. Divided by 53700, which I've made 5000. This is linked to this. This 5000 is linked to that. So my answer must have something to do with them numbers 6, 8, and 9. So I've got 4 zeros here, I've got 4 zeros here, so I can stroke those 4 out and those 4 out. So I've got 36 divided by 5. Well, 36 divided by 5 gives me 7 something. It's 7.1. So 7 fives is 35. So my answer is going to be close to 7. Well, the only way I can get this number close to 7 is make it 6 point something. So the answer must be 6.89. That's how you do those dividing sums. There's no other way. The estimating is the easiest way to do it. Now, make an X the subject. This is a bit more trickier. It's a non-calculator question. It's a bit more trickier because they want you to try and find X. X is there beside K. Now, because it's a minus, it's a wee bit awkward because that minus belongs to the both of them. That minus belongs to there. So that'll all have to come over here first to get rid of that. So the easiest thing to do is to bring the minus kx over to become a plus kx. So you're now just left with your y, which equals your t, which is here, plus that kx. Now, let's get rid of the t, bring it back over, so you've got y minus t equals kx. And then we can get rid of the k, which is y minus t divided by k, or if you want to write it fancily, that's the answer. But the key thing is, because that's a minus, it's a bit awkward looking, so bring it over first and become a plus. That's question 17. Again, I'll run through this again because these are worth doing. This is the sum. Okay, I've taken the numbers out and I've multiplied them out first of all. So I'm looking for, so that's the sum, 32.5 multiplied by 24 to give us this. I've then decreased the 24 to 2.4, which moves the decimal back, and then I've done the decimal, I've moved the decimal back again to give you this. So I've looked for this answer, 32.5 multiplied by 2.4, which links in lovely with that number there. And that's why that number is 78. Again, dividing sum. So rounded that there to 80, round that to 20. 80 divided by 20 is 4, so it's something involved in the number 4. That 78 is to do with that number. That 24 is to do with that number. So my answer has to do with this 32.5. So how can I make that close to 4? I make it 3.25. And then this is what I call the slippy one. You'd enjoy this, slippy. because that's the sum, and this is half of that. So 12 is half of 24, which means our answer must be half of 780. We could actually just work that out, 780 divided by 2, or if you wanted, if you weren't too sure on that, just do it as a sum, 32.5 multiplied by 12. 12 fives is 60, down your 0 and carry your 6, 12 twos is 24 and 6 is 30, down your 0 and carry your 3, 12 threes is 36 and 3 is 39, and there's one decimal point there, which means 390 there. Either one of those two ways is acceptable, and that's the end of page 20, I think it's 22. Page 23 is the two BidMaths questions. Calculator, you can use a calculator to check out your answers, so make sure you put the brackets around to give you your answer. Page 24, you've got you've put symbols in. You've got a calculator here. There's calculator questions, so you multiply and add to get that, and plus, add, and minus to get that. Now, there's a calculator question, so put your symbols in to make sure you get the answer. Use the calculator to get those answers. Again, one decimal place, arrow there, the 9 changes 59 to 60. 3 decimal places goes at the 6, the 2 doesn't change it, so that's 0.036. And then significant figures, I'm going to do one or two examples here. Significant figures are numbers that do not have 0 at the start. So we've highlighted here 2 significant figures. The arrow goes to 4, the box goes around it. And then the 0 does not change that. Okay, so similarly, if I had a number like this here, let's say we put a number in, let's put the pencil on, let's see, 4, let's get a nice red colour, 4, 3, 8, 2, and I wanted that to 2 significant figures. So that's the second significant figure. The 8, does the 8 change that? Yes, it does. So that would become 44. Now, any numbers that are in front of the decimal all turn to 0. That's the key thing for significant figures. So it just wouldn't be 44. Those two numbers here would become 0. And that's how you do significant figures. Page 25, non-calculator. So we've got minus 42 divided by minus 6. Forget about the signs first. 42 divided by 6 is 7. A minus and a minus give you a plus. That's 7 or plus 7. Now, this sum here, write it out as a sum. 600 divided by 0.2. Dividing by decimal, add the 0 at the top, get rid of the decimal at the bottom, which gives you that answer here. Now, without working out the answer to 40 times 0.752, work out if it's greater than less than 1, or 40. But 40 times 1 is 40. Now, that number is less than 1. So if it's less than 1, your answer is clearly going to be less than 40. So I've written it's less because 40 has been multiplied by a number less than 1. So because 40 times 1 is 40. So have a think about that. So 40 times a half is obviously less than 40 because a half is less than 1. How many significant figures are there here? That's 4. How many are there here? That's only 2. These zeros at the start do not count. And that's the answer for page 26. 53.04 to 2 decimal places. Page 27. That's the answer for 27, question 5, 1.66. Now in the decimal it gives you 1.6566. Remember, all numbers are rounded 2 decimal places, which gives you 1.66 for 3 marks, boys and girls. 3 marks. Nearest penny, 2 decimal places. All you have to do is 3 Olympic mugs, which just goes in here. 1 souvenir set, which goes in here. Add them up. This is actually with a calculator. Put in that special delivery to give that answer there. So page 28, I'm going to spend a wee minute or two on this because there's quite a lot of marks here and sometimes people can't necessarily work these out. Okay, so you just had to read the question, you just have to fill it in. So grapes are 2.15 for 2.15 or 2 for £4. So she got 2 of those, that's £4. She got 1 of the melons, which is 180. Red chilies were 65 or 2 for £1. She got 1 of those. You put those numbers in, you add them up. Okay, that's fairly self-explanatory for 5 marks. 5 marks, boys and girls. That's a calculator question. There's no excuse for not getting those right if we just read our information. The reason why I put 180 in there is because she's getting 2 of them, and 2 of them's 180. Now, it's this bottom one I'm after here. I'll just make it a bit bigger. This is on page 28. Question 14 is a calculator. Again, a calculator question. Okay, I want to explain this. Electricity reading. So this is the previous reading, and this is the present reading. So this is what they used previously, and this is what the total is presently. So for example, this might be in June, and this might be taken in September. So you need to take both those away to calculate the number of units that were used. So if this was used like by the end of June, and this was the end of September, the difference between those is how much was actually used for those 3 months, because you don't keep paying all the time. This is previous bill, and this is the new reading. So the difference is what you get. And then with that there, what you need to do is take that number here, multiply it by this 0.01455, which gives you 221.16. Okay, 5% of that, 5% is divided by 100 multiplied by 5 to give you 11.005. Again, remember money, 2 decimal places, which rounds to £11.06. Add both those up to give you 232.12. Okay, that's how you find those questions. Okay, page 29. These are all the big marks are. These are the 5 mark questions, okay? You need to underline the important points. Jill has a part-time job. She's getting paid £7 an hour. She earns time and a half. Time and a half means you're £7 and then half of that, half of 7 is £3.50. So on Saturday she earns £10.50. And double time means she earns double her money. So it's £7 an hour. So on Sunday she's earning £14 an hour. So all you do is use your calculator to plug the numbers in. Monday is 6 hours times the 7, which gives you 42. Saturday is time and a half, which is 10.50. So 6 times 10.50 is 63. And Sunday is double time. She does the 4 hours times the 14, which is 56. Add those numbers up to give you a total of 161. Just take your time, read through the question, underline the important parts, and make sure you get all those marks that are allocated for that question. And now we have page 30. So page 30, you've got 2 questions on page 30. Complete the following shopping bill. So again, that's self-explanatory. You multiply those out. Make sure that's pennies, so you make sure you put that into 145. Make sure you put them into pounds, and make sure you put them into pounds. There's 3 marks for just multiplying that and knowing that you have to put them back into pounds by dividing by 100. Here we have Mrs. Winter uses that amount of electricity, costing that much in pence. That gives you pence. Again, you have to divide it by 100 to give you that. Now there's 5 marks for just knowing how to turn pence into pounds with a calculator, boys and girls. So hopefully we'll get all those questions correct in the test. So again, page 31, it's a big calculation question, 5 marks for relatively standard, straightforward stuff. Again, underline the important things. So these are all the fruit and these are all the veg, and Fiona's eating 5 portions of fruit and veg each day. She's only allowed to spend £12 a week. So you have to work out one way that she can spend enough for the week. So if she has to buy a total of 5 portions of fruit and veg each week, she's £12 for the week, so that's 7 days. So she's if you divide 12 by 7, that gives you roughly £1.71 every day to spend. So this is what you could get for a day. You can get 100 grams of carrots, which is 35p, 100 grams of beans, which is 40p. You can get 1 apple, and you can get 2 bananas. 2 bananas is 2.25, which is 50. If you add those up, that gives you your 5 portions to give you 170. Remember, we're only going to spend 171. So 170, and then you multiply those numbers by 7, because there's 7 days in the week, and that gives you a total value of £11.90, which is just inside £12. Okay, and that's how you tackle those type of questions. Must underline the important things, and you must show your workings. Otherwise, you don't get any marks at all. So, got to show your workings in those sorts of questions. Okay, so page 32, the first question is a reciprocal question. Again, the reciprocal of 1.4, which is 5 over 7. And the second one underneath is about percentage. So to find 3%, as you know, you divide by 3, or you divide by 100 and you multiply by 3. So with a calculator, again, that gives you that answer there. Okay, here we have standard straightforward question. A building supplier hires out ladders. The hire charge is $13.25 every day. That means that for every day that you use it, you charge $13.25. There's also a delivery charge of $22.50. So they charge you $22.50 for throwing it out to wherever you're going. Now he wants to hire it for 5 days. How much does it cost him? So it's $13.25 times 5. That's the 5 days plus the delivery charge to give you that total. Again, 2 marks for relatively straightforward maths with a calculator. Okay, page 33. How many buses are filled? So it's 700 divided by 48, which gives you 14.58. but that's filled is 14 buses. If it had asked how many